Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A very lovely Monday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports, presented by Play Alberta. Thank you to everyone for listening on our audio streams. That's at edmontonsportstalk.com. Tune in, iHeartRadio for those watching on YouTube or anyone listening on podcast. We thank you as well. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with you here. Murray McCourt. It is Monday from the VIP Golf Show and the Ranch Golf and Country Club. He is in studio as well, Murray. It's always great seeing you.
Clicks today.
Hey, we're getting close. We're getting close.
Well, my superintendent actually texted me a projected date this week, and I'm like, whoa, really?
That seems like an aggressive...
It was an aggressive day. I thought it was an aggressive day.
Does he have a weather person? Does he connect? Does he have like a weather person he's communicating with?
Well, no. But his is the fact that there really is hardly any snow on the golf course, especially after this last little melt that we have.
Yeah.
But I was actually raging a little bit to Maddie before the show. Shockingly, there is two completely different forecasts out there right now for what's upcoming. If you look at Weather Network, it's crap.
Yeah.
If you look at Environment Canada, which I tend to believe far more based on historical success of what they say.
Good track record there.
Like even yesterday, the high was 5 degrees yesterday.
Yeah.
Weather Network was saying the high was going to be 1. So, Environment Canada got it right. Shocker. But this weekend, I was reading it to you. It's supposed to be, going by Weather Network, 0, -1s is the high.
Yeah.
Well, like 5, 7, and 8 on Environment Canada.
I like an Environment Canada.
For Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I'm not liking it for the next few days, though.
What is it?
Yeah, it's not gonna be
Like
good.
today's 4 degrees, chance of flurries or rain showers later this afternoon. Tomorrow's -5 as a high with some snow.
Yeah.
Wednesday's -7 as a high with periods of snow.
Yeah.
Then it's -3, 5, 7, 8. But it's just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Done.
I'm with you.
You hit that time of the year at the end of March where you're just like, can you just be above 0 consistently?
Yeah.
I don't need it to be 10 already consistently as much as I would like that. Just be 5 degrees. Like yesterday was beautiful.
Yes.
That was a great day yesterday.
Get the
Like
5.
I've retired from snow shoveling. That last snow that came last week, I'm like, I'm not doing it. Mother Nature is going to take care of it. And whatever it snows Tuesday, Wednesday, forget it. I'm out. 7, 8 degrees on the weekend will take care of it. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Friday, there was like, the snow was like pellets. I don't know if you guys
weird.
want to...
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
They're like
no.
tiny little
It was
pellets.
freezing rain.
Yeah.
More than snow. Yeah.
But they were like perfect little circles, at least downtown. I'm like, what the hell is
We got
this
that
type
on
of
Wednesday
snow?
when Clausen was
Yeah.
coming in because I was like, it's a little hail. And he's like, what's size pellets? I was like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But
And they stung when they got caught in the wind. I had to walk to Cam Moon's place, and it was just like, oh, what is this? Because you get the wind tunnels downtown, right? And I'm like, oh.
yeah, just ready for it to be
we'll
done.
see.
Yeah,
I'm with you. But if the number he said, let's just say when I get back from my vacation that I leave on next Saturday, it's going to be, oh boy, let's get going here.
All right. Chris G already texted in. Said, can I ask you, Murray, when the golf show starts?
April 26th. Let me just double check that. It's the
Yeah, it's
last
the end of April.
Sunday of April. April 26th. I was right. You bet. 8 a.m. right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Can't wait to get going. Going to be a few little changes here and there that I'm looking forward to, and going to piggyback off of winning Rant of the Year on EST, and I'm going to have a Rant of the Week on the show.
Excellent.
Where I'll kind of go off a little bit on something. For the most part, it'll be golf, but one or two. You never know. I might throw out a Stan Bowman rant on a golf show, because if the Oilers are golfing a little earlier than they have been the last couple of years, then if the players are out at my place playing golf instead of playing hockey, I might have to do a Sunday rant to a different audience on why Stan Bowman. Yeah, okay.
Murray, it's also your show, so you can talk about whatever you want.
do whatever you wish.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But, the Edmonton Elks are advertiser on the show, so I typically talk a little bit about their games, and I go to every game that's here, as you know, and and whatnot. So I don't really dive into it, but I make sure, that when they're hot, I'm talking about a little bit, or the experience at the games that that we have, and some of the cool things they're doing. I like to make sure people are aware of what the things that they're doing to improve the game experience, and hopefully get more butts in the seats. And
they may be a sponsor of your show, but you're a bigger sponsor of them. Like let's
that goes both ways in a massive.
Oh, that's
massive
like
way.
when we're talking about a franchise that needs as much love as it can get, you speak with your money, so you can speak as you wish on that team largely.
Fair. But they, with my promotional products company, everything that they buy that's not mandated by the league comes through my company, Tough Stuff, that the ranch owns.
Oh.
The Edmonton Cheerleaders tournament is at my place, and whatnot, and that's a full 144 shotgun. So, I mean, they send money my way too, but overall, for sure.
Just in the end, like you are a big supporter of that franchise in a major, major way.
Right. And, to be honest, when you look at like advertising in the stadium and things like that, I mean, it's not cheap.
No.
And over the last number of years, when I started working with the team on stuff like that, there's 30,000 plus butts in the seats. And so they're seeing what you're doing to kind of promote your business and whatnot. You'd be a lot happier getting 30,000 plus people seeing it than you are getting 10,000 people seeing it, and the prices haven't dropped, but, to ride with them through the downs. I mean, I'm certainly optimistic that once the ups come, it'll be, which hopefully will be this year, it'll be a lot more beneficial, and just, long-term support. I mean, I'm a loyal guy, and I really feel they're trending in the right direction. It's hard not to think that. So I'm just hoping that my advertising and promotion of the team in that way gets a lot more eyes on it in the future.
I appreciate that loyalty to them because, it's been crappy around there. But last year it did feel like the spark is back.
Very different. It's very different.
Yeah. I sense it. I think it'll pay off, Murray.
Yeah.
Sorry, Maddie, go ahead.
No, don't be sorry. I'm trying to think when is their first game?
They have
June 4th?
that exhibition game. Is that the end of May is that Clark Park?
Yeah. And we got our schedule for CFL on TSN. Yours truly is back for all the home games, which is great.
All right.
Little bit of Calgary this year.
I suck at clicks, but
Thank
clicks
you.
to Tommy G.
Yes. A little less Calgary, but no, I'm very excited.
Yeah,
June 6th.
June 6th
is their first game.
That's the
which
exhibition
means,
game at
no,
Clark
that's the
Park,
first
or
regular
that's the
season. We're
first
75 days away from Elks regular season.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for there. 75 days away. So
been pretty quiet in the league as a whole over the last little bit.
well, we've got Combine this week in town.
Yeah.
And then it will be
When's the draft? It can't be crazy far away.
beginning of May.
Yeah.
Usually, because it goes after the NFL draft.
Okay.
Because they need to wait to see
Right, that
what
makes
happens
sense.
with players with the NFL, and then they'll draft, and there'll be camp, and then we'll be getting going right away with everything.
We did have a good week and a half, almost 2 weeks with free agency. That created a bit of a stir.
It did.
In
absolutely.
early
Well,
February.
And Edmonton, I mean, I talked about it a bit here, that the guys that they signed, I love it. I think we all loved it last year too, and some of the big guys that they signed didn't pan out, and it happens in hockey too. You win free agency, the day of, it doesn't necessarily mean that 6 months later people will view you as the winner of free agency. But I don't know. I'm pretty confident that they made some great moves, and I don't know, it's going to be interesting. But does Edmonton have number 1 overall in the draft? It's got to be. If it's not number 1, it's got to be 2.
Is it Ottawa?
Because I'm curious, with the Combine coming up, because
Edmonton's got 3.
Yeah.
they're number 3 overall.
Ottawa's 1, Toronto's 2, Edmonton's 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, even at 3 overall, it'll be interesting as the some mock drafts start to come out and see who Edmonton might get if there's some high-end guys that are projected. It's right now in football we're inundated with information on mock drafts and all the test days of all the guys and things like that, and even NHL. I mean, everyone's been Gavin McKenna this, Gavin McKenna that, and whatnot. So but in the CFL, you just don't hear about this stuff.
It's quieter.
Edmonton's got 3 picks in the top 20. They actually have the 21st pick as well.
Wow, so
they
in the
have
top
basically
21.
almost 4 second rounds or better picks.
You can get some good players.
They got one from the Niles Morgan deal. Well, there was a swap because they won't have their third. So they bumped up 2 spots, though. And then them and Winnipeg were awarded the National Snaps Reward, which is 2 teams get a second-round pick each year. Whoever had the most Canadian snaps throughout a season. You get rewarded with a draft pick. So the Edmonton Elks accomplished that one last year. So they'll draft 3rd, they'll draft 12th, they'll draft 19, they'll draft 21. So a nice little bit there to build some depth, maybe package some things.
Have you heard anything about the quality or depth of the draft at all?
No, it's the sad thing is we never get that stuff with the CFL. Like, you just never know what's going on.
Yeah, it's just
Text Dwayne.
not hyped like the other leagues hype their drafts.
Well, last week on NFL Live, I was watching as I was doing show prep, and they had Mel Kiper Jr. on the whole hour. I was like, oh, it's that time, hey?
Yeah, it is that time.
Yeah.
Well, then they're getting a little tired. I'm seeing more and more people down south get tired of how much NFL there is sometimes being discussed. Because like I saw more than I've ever seen, like people last Monday being like, "Oh, great, we're getting set for March Madness," and you're talking NFL. And there's a lot of pictures of like all the bracket on the bar at the bottom, but them talking about just something NFL.
Yeah,
we're getting ready for March Madness here.
Well, who signed today for like $180 million out of Seattle?
Seattle's receiver.
what's his name?
Jigba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that. I'm like,
Record-breaking receiver deal, yeah.
4 years, 180 mil, is it?
Yeah, it's like just under $45 million a year, I think.
Good for him.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
he had a heck of a year and won a Super Bowl and deserves it for sure.
yeah. Dave in Section T, we'll have to do post-game tailgate, Tommy. Enjoy that media buffet pregame. Yes, sounds good. I'll stop for a beer, Dave in Section T. Last year it felt like it was always on the go, but you get more settled in. Dusty, it's old hat. He knows the routine. Last year, I was just learning.
But now you're an expert. You're a veteran now.
Just a veteran, not expert.
Well, I was going to say the NFL though. I think the NFL owners and whatnot, they've purposely made the NFL a 365 day a year league. They always want to be in the spotlight, and I mean it's paying off in spades. I mean that league is prints money.
Yeah,
and if it's out of mind, hard to print money. If people aren't buying jerseys or doing whatever it is that they're doing to generate some revenue at this time of year.
Well, ESPN also, the NFL bought part of ESPN, or how did it go? ESPN bought the part of the NFL. Can't remember which way it went, but they just had that big agreement. The NFL Network is now run by ESPN or whatever it is, and so they're very much in bed together now.
Yeah.
In a way that's never been seen before, because there's an ownership of some levels. I think it's the NFL owns part of the ESPN.
That makes sense.
I think it's they got 10% of the ESPN in a deal.
That makes sense. And do they not still have that studio on the Strip in Vegas? I think it's at the Link, an ESPN studio.
Well, it used to be called ESPN.
Well, there's a bar.
They have bars all
it
over
was
the place.
in New York.
Right.
It was ESPN bar. But
Yeah, I think that shut down. But there's like they have a studio, and it looks at like the Bellagio fountains.
Link. Yeah, I haven't been to Vegas for several years now, so I'm not familiar. But you're right, the ESPN bar, last time I was there, it was something different. It's still a sports bar.
Is that the Tom's Urban or something like that? Or I think that's the one. That's the one that's a big enough space that it looked like it could have been an ESPN. I think I know what you're talking about. Tom's Diner or something like that. Also, you made an interesting point. With the NFL trying to go as close to 365 as it can and a license to print money essentially, and they're actively trying to do that. And then you have baseball, which is getting going this week. And like I was watching spring training games yesterday, and I'm like, here we go, baseball. And they have a license to print money without even trying. Matty even makes the point sometimes that some of the owners hate baseball, and he's not wrong. Like, It's wild. It's like they do things counterproductive to baseball, and then they still just rake in billions of dollars. And then you've got the NFL that's always on, always churning, and it's just like record after record after record, owning part of ESPN. Like, it's wild.
How many exhibition games did they play this year? Like 30?
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah, it was late. It was not. I don't know,
162?
it was mid-Feb almost. They got going.
Yeah.
and I wonder if part of that was because of the WBC.
I think so.
That they wanted to get their players, those guys around the team for a little bit and then move on. But man, it's been forever.
Yep.
Yes, like enough.
Like, well, yeah, it's like, hey, let's get going. Like, let the Friday come. Let's watch some baseball. I'd have to go back. I also feel like baseball never has like a consistent start. Some years it's a Thursday, it's on Fridays. One year, I remember, it was on a Sunday night they started the season. I never know when they actually start. And they start in Tokyo some years, and then those teams come back and still play spring training after they start their regular season. Makes no sense sometimes.
And one thing they did that I liked as a tradition was the season always started, I think it was the Reds would have to play the first game of the year for whatever reason.
There's just something to that. You're right.
Yeah.
There is something.
But they've kind of gone away from it, I think.
Yeah, because it's the Reds.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you about a guy I was talking about spring training baseball this week. I'm going to just look up his name. Texting. I just want to get his name right here. But it's quite a fascinating meet. I'm part of a networking group called Corporate Connections, which is it's unbelievable, and how awesome it is. And I met this guy through Corporate Connections this week. Kazuyoshi is his name. Kazuyoshi and what's his Hisano. Kazuyoshi Hisano. He was at my Corporate Connections meeting, and he runs Corporate Connections in Japan, but his main career is he trains CEOs. Like, he's a coach for company CEOs. He also, I learned at this meeting, and this is part of why he took a big liking interest in me, and we spent a lot of time talking, is he's a vice president of the big company in Japan that has golf simulators, and they want to make it the biggest golf simulator company in the world. But I was asking him, like, because he was in Florida and he flew up to Edmonton from Florida to come to our Corporate Connections meeting. And then the next morning he was flying out to Arizona. So I said, like, so what are you doing over here? Why Florida? Why Arizona? And where this is going is, well, he's the personal coach of a pitcher who was playing for Japan at the World Baseball Classic.
Really?
And then they got beat out. And so he flew to Edmonton to come to our Corporate Connections meeting. The next morning, he was flying out to Arizona. I said, so why Arizona? He says, well, my pitcher is done with, but he's going to California or Los Angeles.
Cactus League,
Angels pitcher. And so he's going to back to spring training. So I'm going to meet him there for a few days before I go to Japan. And
Damn.
I'm like, okay, so now as a sports guy, I'm not a big baseball guy. Angels are my favorite team. I don't even know who this guy is. But I get to work, talk to Sean at work, and I was telling him the story. And I said, I know he used to pitch for the Jays. He pitched for the Jays for 3 years, he told me, and now he's a couple years in the Angels. And Sean said, right away, is it this guy? And he said his name and looked him up, and he was like,
Kikuchi?
oh, I think that's it. Maddie's going to look up right now. And like, so I was asking him about, well, is he a good pitcher? Is he a reliever? So he says, well, last year he started opening day for the Angels. And this year he said he's going to be their number 2 pitcher in their starting rotation. I'm like, okay, like, who is this guy that I'm meeting? And he's texting me and he wants to grill me about golf and the golf simulator world. And he's this personal coach of this guy. And I looked up his salary too. His salary.
Angels, we're saying?
Yeah.
Angels. He's got to be. Is he there now?
Yeah.
Because I know
I don't
Jay's
see
traded
him on.
him.
Oh, yeah, Kikuchi.
Oh, okay. Then that must be it.
So I looked up Kikuchi's salary
Alec
as
Manoah was
well.
there too. Didn't know that.
And I guess salary is astronomical. Like,
What is it this year?
Well, it's 20-some
20?
million or something like that.
Baseball's quite crazy.
Yeah. And so this guy's his personal coach, and I'm just like, I'm grilling him, like, what do you do for them? Like, what's going on here? And anyway, like, what? Corporate Connections is a great thing because of meeting people like this. Like, it's just crazy. I mean, it potentially could give business opportunity with me if he wants to use me and my connections to help get his golf simulators from Japan over here, which I'm assuming they're pretty darn good if they're basically the only ones that are in use in Japan. But then he's this personal coach of well, a $20-some million a year pitcher in the majors. It's like, what a great guy to meet. It was a fun night.
Interesting.
I didn't want to go home afterwards because I had an extra glass of wine to make sure that he outstayed me too, and he had the early morning flight to Arizona. But just what a guy to meet.
It's like the most interesting man in the world.
Yeah,
like one of those types.
Yeah, for sure. That it does everything. What doesn't this guy do?
Chris is saying in the nasty chat, the Yankees-Giants start the baseball season on Wednesday. They do. He's right. On Netflix. I didn't realize there was a Netflix deal.
Oh, wow.
So it's on Netflix. I don't know what we...
Shouldn't shock anybody. I didn't know it either.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know there's an NBC deal and stuff, but so they're on Netflix. And then Thursday, there's a bunch of games. One's on NBC. The rest are on MLB.tv. So there's a doubleheader on NBC on Thursday. Jays don't get going till Friday. Why are the Jays going on Friday? Like, that's the part that's weird. Like, because I'm just seeing the ads for the Jays as we're in Canada and stuff, and watching Sportsnet with the Oilers. The finalists last year don't start till Friday. I guess that's the stuff I don't get about baseball.
Who are they starting against?
Oakland.
They're signing Oakland. Okay. Yeah.
Oakland. Home.
Oakland.
Or not Oakland. Just the Athletics.
The Athletics.
Just the Athletics.
Oh,
Just the
they have
Athletics.
no
They're
name.
Sacramento even.
Yeah.
They start against them. Trey Savage. I always forget how to pronounce his name properly because I know I'm saying it wrong right there. He's on IL to start this.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's the guy that came up from the minors last year.
A rookie.
Did he sign a new contract or something for this year?
I thought he
don't
was getting
think so.
I thought he was still under his old contract.
He's
Under
still.
deal.
So he gets called from the minors. He basically gets paid peanuts, and he does that, and then he's still getting paid peanuts this year.
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, Macklin Celebrini still getting paid, in for talent level in the NHL. Connor, peanuts.
Yeah.
That's part of the
That's
deal.
part of the deal when you're a rookie. Yeah.
The Reds thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
So
the story? That's interesting.
Reds were founded in the Cincinnati Reds, or back then were the Red Stockings, were the first fully professional team in baseball in 1869. Prior teams were amateurs, quote unquote, although many players were being paid on the table. The tradition is meant to tie back to that. Today's Reds have no actual connection to the 1869 team, though. That team broke up and many members went to Boston, forming the Red Stockings there in 1871 that are today's Atlanta Braves. Today's Reds descend from a team formed in the 1880s American Association. They moved to the National League about a decade later. They're not the oldest professional team or the oldest in their current city. That would be the Cubs. But there's only been 3 instances where the Reds have not played on the opening game. 1966, where opening series was rained out, so their first actual game was scheduled Game 4 in Philly. 1990, lockout delayed the season start. In 2022, lockout delayed the season start.
And
So
they're not gonna
on
be
the
this year?
full opening day, I'm assuming that means like when they start a bunch of games, they always start.
Yeah.
But not this year then?
Well, they're playing on the Thursday when there's the first
But there's
slate
the
of games.
Wednesday.
And we've had that in the past a few times. So I'm wondering if they mean by like they start the season is that opening day they start the season.
Okay, got more detail.
Sweet.
So the way that they were bestowed this honor was because they're often credited as being the first professional baseball team.
Oh.
And then the first game of the season, which they would be a part of for a lot of years. For many years, the Reds had the honor of playing the first game of the MLB season. This tradition changed due to commercial interests. There's a quote, ESPN wanted to pay MLB a ton of money to show the opening game on Sunday night. So that's when you talk about the Sunday night baseball.
I think they should start on a Sunday night. Sunday night baseball is a
That's
thing. Like
a
that's
great way to wind down
you
the
get
weekend.
the one game going with Sunday night baseball. Everyone starts on the Monday after that. It's a fun way to doing it. Like
like
starting on a Wednesday and for baseball, I guess like hockey does it, basketball does it. I don't know. Baseball to me just like Sunday night's your night though. Like
I like Sunday night baseball.
That's a good idea though. Get all eyes on one game. Should probably have it as a couple of premier teams if you can, just to get lots of attention on it. That's a good idea. You should get in sports marketing.
I would love to be more into the sports broadcasting side of things. That's the contracts and all that. That's the fascinates me.
Yeah.
I want to know. I'm gonna have to read into this Netflix deal because I haven't paid attention to it at all, though. Like, do we get it in Canada on Netflix, or is it going to be?
We must, don't we? Or does
Unless
it have any? Does it
is it just
interfere with?
an international deal? Like, WWE's deal with Netflix, I believe, is a global deal. So wherever you are in the world, you get WWE on Netflix. MLS's deal with Apple TV, I believe, is a global deal. So wherever you're in the world, if you get Apple TV, you get MLS. But there are deals where sometimes, like Apple TV has the F1 deal in the United States.
Right.
The rest of the world doesn't get Apple TV, the F1 through Apple TV.
Oh.
Like there's those type of things. So I don't know if this is this an American deal or is this going to be a global deal?
Interesting.
That's I'm fascinating to read into on those type of things. Yeah, Chris, hockey should start on a Saturday. That would be cool. Hockey night in Canada. You start, hockey. Yeah, you start 5 o'clock or whatever on a Saturday, and then Sunday you could load up the day or something like that.
Yeah, have all the Canadian teams play each other.
Yeah.
Toronto against Montreal. Yeah. Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver against Winnipeg. I mean, that'd be kind of fun.
Do Thanksgiving weekend.
Thanksgiving weekend.
Saturday, you throw on a couple games. Saturday, you could throw on a bunch of games. Monday, you could have a couple of highlighted games throughout the day. Boom, your week starts or your season starts on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Do you think with baseball, like I always kind of thought that part of the reason why I'm not so into baseball is 162
It's a long slog.
Like, are you kidding me?
Lucas from Whale and the Wolf,
Yeah.
a few years ago, because he was on pat leave, he I think watched at least parts of every game.
Wow.
It's a long though. It's
Parts
long.
of every game of every team?
No, of the Jays. Sorry, should have corrected.
I'm like,
Jays.
are you kidding
So
me
like
right
he'd
now?
record it, he'd watch fast forward at times, but like he threw that on. It is a long time though.
Wow. Can you imagine seasons tickets? That's 81 home
know.
games.
I could not.
That's
I could not.
crazy.
That's a lot.
And the money that
Yeah.
would cost for 81 games. And,
Yeah.
I know. And then, but then even then you get a quarter of the way through the season and probably 30% of the teams are already out of it.
Which is why we're going to be seeing a potential lockout coming up.
Again?
Strike next year. Like there's a lot of talk that the owners are going to now, the fight is on for a salary cap. The fight is on to say we're bringing in a salary cap. We're going to lower things. But the real argument that needs to be fought for is what's the salary floor? Because the problem with baseball is baseball teams make money. The Pittsburgh Pirates make money.
Yeah.
The Kansas City Royals make money. They all make money. They just don't spend money.
Right.
They don't spend on their roster.
Tampa.
That there's a point of, okay, whatever, you could stop the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Jays and all those teams from spending a little bit at the top. But are you forcing the teams at the bottom to spend? Are we forcing them to be like, no, you have a great young Pittsburgh Pirates, Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
Are you going to pay for this guy and build a team around him? Or are you just going to go get a bunch of prospects for him and flip into the New York Yankees?
The second one.
Or the Dodgers, yeah.
But and that's they were already saying that last season.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're like, just trade this guy out of here already.
He's
And
too
it's like-
good to be here.
Yeah. And isn't that's so sad if you're a fan of the Buccos?
Because they're not going to build a team around him.
That's so.
And if you're him, I'm going to go to, like, the big one is because his girlfriend and stuff, there is talk of New York, especially to go to that market, dominate in that market. There's a bunch of marketing. You get all that. But it's also like, why would I stay in Pittsburgh? If you're not going to build a team around me, I'm going to get my money no matter what.
Yeah.
But maybe you'd be more likely to stay in Pittsburgh because, they also got this first baseman and this center fielder, and then the prospect pool's got this. And maybe they'll go get me a free agent. Okay, now we've got a little bit of a team. We can build something here in Pittsburgh. But nah, you could pay me. Yankees can pay me. Mets could pay me.
Yeah.
My girlfriend can make tons of modeling money.
She's hot. Yeah.
She's going to be in the new, but there's apparently a new Baywatch and stuff. But we're going to go do that in New York, and I don't need you. And I'm going to be competitive.
Yeah, but like they are so far gone in baseball in terms of the high end and the low end. Like I had a conversation with this exact thing with someone the other day and showed him a player, I think it was on the Dodgers, that makes more money than the entire payroll of the lowest team. Like one guy.
Yeah.
But the spread is so deep. How do you bridge that gap and get those guys to come down when they've got massive contracts on the books for a decade and get the other guys to come up? I mean, it's I don't know how they can do it.
Which is why there's this, like, it's going to be a little bit of a mess, and people are just very much expecting this is the last baseball season until we have a work stoppage.
Ugh.
Then maybe we won't have the start of next season. Who knows where next season will go, because the fight is on between the owners and the players for a salary cap.
Yeah.
And we saw that in hockey back in 04-05. The fight was on for the salary cap. And was it that one, or did it go to 12-13?
12-13.
Was that but if there was 50% revenue sharing?
Yes.
Was that 12-13? Was that main
That was
fight one?
12-13.
Okay. So now it's like, okay, the salary cap fight is on. But the question will be, what is the floor? Which also, I'll just bring this to hockey quickly. And before I get there, this is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada storage experts. More than 2 decades helping Canadians through life transition. March Madness deals on right now. 75% off 8 weeks on 5x5, 10x20, and 10x30 units. Find them. Find a local, a convenient location, or find out more on those deals at their website, sentinel.ca. I did see, I can't remember who posted this, but with the NHL cap shooting up over the next number of years, I think some people say in the next 5 years or so, it could be upwards of $130 million or something like that.
Yep.
Then now the worry is looking at the teams like Columbus's, Winnipeg was thrown out there.
Yep.
How are they going to be able to get to the cap floor?
Yeah, I
And
was reading that
that's the
exact
concern
thing,
now
yeah.
that's coming. We're all talking about the NHL shooting up with these cap count going up, but we haven't looked at the bottom end and go, can all the teams afford to get to that floor?
Right. And where the cap has been for so long. I mean, you look in the NHL today, the parity is incredible, where as that cap goes up and teams are not going to be able to afford to spend it, or, the floor is going to be an issue, that parity is going to start to spread again, and the wealthiest teams will spend to the cap, and the ones that aren't as wealthy, will start to be the bottom feeders again, which used to happen before the salary cap.
We don't have an Arizona right now that you could send. What was it? Marian Hossa and Pavel Datsyuk and Chris Pronger, legendary Coyotes. You could send them there. We're going to maybe get to that point because those teams are going to need to try to get to the cap floor.
Yep.
Carey Price is a San Jose Shark right now, by the way.
Yeah, somebody said something recently. There's a joke when San Jose is like, holy crap, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's on their LTIR.
But I'm curious the ramifications of the cap going up and going up so significantly so quickly.
Yeah.
How is that going to mess with some of those bottom teams?
Right. And then some of the guys that are elite guys right now that are signing, the 7-8 year deals, if it goes up that fast, they're going to be like, what the heck? Like, geez, I'm signed for $12.5 million right now when I could easily be getting 20. Like, ugh.
Yeah, that's going to be a thing. I just looked up the Athletics payroll. They're over 100 million finally.
Are they?
I think that's the whole franchise. But like them, Tampa, you're right about Pittsburgh, like unwilling to spend, and then they rake in big bucks. Like
they make money.
What did you say about the Buccaneers owner, or not the Buccaneers, the Pirates owners? You said that you think they hate baseball.
They hate this. I take this from Low Tide and stuff. They hate baseball.
Yeah,
like they see it as turning on the lights as a nuisance.
Yeah,
for the stadium.
Except
like it's costing. Well, yeah, but I have to pay people.
Yeah.
It was like they just like, it seems like some of them just hate the sport.
Yeah.
And I don't know of that for many other owners type thing. It's
wild.
Because I'll go, it's in 2020. It's not a great time. Don't want to go back to that whole year, but they could have been the first league in North America going as sports because they were the first on deck. And they had a delay because they fought with each other, the owners and the players, and like, come on, figure this out. The entire North America is going to watch you because hockey's not going yet. NBA's not going yet. The NFL's months away. Just get playing. Yep. And they took forever to play. And it was just that year, I don't even think I watched them much because I was just so pissed with them because I'm like, you just don't even care. And it was just a huge fight for no reason. I'm just like, give us baseball here.
Yeah.
But it's like, nope. They knew, it's going to take a lot of work. We got to then bring staff on, and then we got to pay them. And the players, we got to pay them. And then we got to pay them. I was like, wow. Just hate them.
Then sell the team.
You would think that would be the best thing, but no, they for whatever reason they still want to hold on to that teams.
Yeah.
If you hate baseball, why do you own a baseball team?
Because they make money. I don't know.
It's novelty for some of these billionaires.
Yeah.
Like the guy with the Athletics, is it John Fisher? Yeah, they hate him in Oakland. Obviously, I don't think they care for him much in Vegas. And then the whole getting that stadium built and all that, he pissed off residents in Vegas, and then you put the team in Sacramento for a few years. Like, it's just crappy owner.
Yeah, but what did he pay for the team, and what is it worth now? Like, holy, right?
Great point.
It's just why don't cash out if you're not going to spend money. Cash out.
Cashing out now is probably a pretty good time.
John.
Well, probably like $5 billion, I would say. That's my guess.
$5 billion today.
Yeah.
And probably paid. I'm assuming you're looking it up, and I'm going to guess a few $100 million.
Yeah. Well, look at hockey. I mean, take the Oilers as an example. Cates bought the team for $240 million. They're worth, what, $4 billion now?
Yeah.
With all the investments and the property and all that. Like, it's unbelievable.
How much did John Fisher buy the A's for?
Yeah.
Says they bought him for approximately 2005, $180 million.
Jesus.
Currently, the team's valued at over $1 billion to over $2 billion in future coming years because of this move to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Huh.
So inflation calculator.
That's a pretty good
I said 180 million.
Yeah. And then factor in, like, once they get going in Vegas, brand new ballpark, maybe they actually become a good franchise. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I could see that jumping up so quickly. Remember when Ballmer bought the Clippers?
Oh, yeah, Steve Ballmer.
He just said, here's $2 billion. And all of a sudden,
and
prices went right up.
And if you go back, that was when I'll always say that was when franchise values just became ridiculous because the most recent NBA sale prior to that was, I think, maybe the Timberwolves. It might have been the Bucks. I always forget which M it was, Minnesota or Milwaukee. And it was around like 700 million or something like that.
Wow.
And then he went to the second team in LA. Like, it's not the Lakers. And he said, I'll give you $2. Like, he didn't want a negotiation. He didn't want to do anything. He just said, I'm taking this team. Here's $2 billion. And the NBA took it. And then when the Clippers now worth $2, Lakers, Celtics, Knicks immediately like, well, what are we worth?
Yeah.
You know, and then the NFL markets go, okay, this is what NBA is getting. What are we worth?
Yeah,
and everything
way
just
more.
shot up and went, we're there. 180 million in 2005 works out to be about just shy of 300 million today. So even if you're doing inflation here,
He's laughing.
300 million in today's dollars is now worth upwards of $2 billion.
Wow.
Whoa.
I want in on that.
Yeah. What did I do wrong in my life?
Give me a piece.
Yeah.
Well, Jerry Jones is probably the big one, or like one of the bigger
one.
ones.
What did he pay, like $80 million for the Cowboys?
That was a
In
long time ago, too. Yeah.
That was in 1980.
He bought in 89 he bought them for 140 million.
Oh,
so there are teams I know that there's been lower. I think the Cards might be a low one. But 140 in 1989 works out to be okay, big amount, but it's worth 10 bill.
Yeah.
10 bill.
Yeah.
They're valued at over 10 bill right now.
Oh, man.
The Cardinals are a terrible franchise that I somehow still like a lot.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
But, you know,
It's a shame.
see, you're loyal, too.
I'll stick
Yeah.
with them. I think the owner's a weirdo. They finally got rid of Kyler Murray. I don't know. It's just they're perpetually stuck in the mud.
Kyler Murray, who's your quarterback?
It is oh God. Well, they went and got Gardner Minshew and then Jacoby Brissett.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not good. Not a good quarterback's room.
The Cardinals have never been sold in modern history. Tommy would like that to change, but they have not been sold in modern history.
Would like that to change.
They were purchased in 1932 for $50,000.
Wow.
They are currently valued at $5.5 billion.
Yeah.
So it's just gone generational with who owns it?
The
then
Bidwells.
since then?
It's the guy now is Michael Bidwell Jr. He wears bow ties. It's odd. It's a bit strange.
1932, $50,000 is worth about 1.1 million
Oh my God.
in today's dollars. So at that time, he spent about $1 million. Or the family spent about $1 million ish, and now that franchise is worth 5.5 billion.
Jeez.
That's a really good return on
Yeah, it
investment.
is.
And they've gone through Chicago. They were in St. Louis. Then they went to Phoenix in the 80s, I think it was. Yeah,
And it'll always take me back to when is Daryl Cates selling the Edmonton Oilers?
I know.
Because the
Sooner the better.
well, and part like I know the complaints were there, last week about playoff ticketing. Mm-hmm. And the thing I'll say, people pay it though. Like the Oilers, it's when will the Oilers stop? When people stop paying.
Yep.
As long as they know that they can get an increase, they're going to keep doing it. But there's going to come a day, and I'm not saying it's in 2 years, might be 10 years, when Leon and Connor are on this team, and this team might be a team that's consistent missing the playoffs for a few years. Mm-hmm. You're not lowering your ticket pricing.
Well,
Like regular season's already expensive too. Like, are you going to sit there, or even if you sneak into the playoffs, you don't have Connor or Leon, you might not be a Stanley Cup contender. Ticket pricing isn't going to drop necessarily. Or are you willing to drop ticket prices? Are you willing to have an empty or barn? Or are you going to take cash out and take billions upon billions of dollars for this franchise?
yeah. Huh. That's fascinating conversation.
Yeah. Well, it's creeping up now. I mean, Connor's going to be 30 next year.
Yeah.
Leon's already 30.
And he's only signed for 2 more years. But I had a conversation with a buddy of mine this week that has season tickets for the Oilers and has for a long time. And so this was for, who did they play on Tuesday? Was that the Florida game?
No,
That
Tuesday was
San Jose.
San Jose. Yeah, this is even crazier than Macklin Celebrini in town. He said he could not even give his tickets away, let alone sell them and recoup some of his money.
Wow.
He couldn't give them away. He even texted in to EST and said, hey, I've got 2 tickets I'll just give to somebody that's never been to the game if you guys want to give them away. And I don't think it was on Reed show in the afternoon, and I don't think that they were even able to get rid of them.
Really? Because I remember I heard
don't-
them talking about it. I don't know if I can't remember if they pulled it off or not, but well, I know sometimes if you do that, the team gets upset with you. Yeah.
If you give tickets away to someone that's
On air.
never been to a game, because that was what he texted to the show, was that he wanted someone to give the tickets away to someone who'd never been to a game before. Well, the Oilers should be falling all over in happiness for that opportunity to get somebody new into the stadium that's never been there before, because
think
that
so.
could be a potential new customer, no?
You would think so, but
Yes.
I think we got a little bit of a
Yeah, no one's ever talked to me about it, and we'll always still do it. I'll go
yeah.
back to because I remember, if this is still the case, it might be why that they just don't want to give tickets away. But this was back at the old place. They have their own little foundation or to give tickets away.
yeah.
The problem with that is, I remember because Gregor brought this up, it was like, you have to submit like a day beforehand or something, and those like, and then the tickets can get dispersed to
Oh,
people that
God.
don't want it or something. But there's like day of people been like, I have these tickets to give away. And so
Yeah.
if we go through the process of going through the Oilers thing, these tickets aren't going to get used.
Right.
Right.
So we're just going to go give them to some. We're not making money off this. We're just trying to connect people
Yeah.
through that. So
Send a
I'll,
kid to
I'll
his
always
first
want to
game.
do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And they'd rather, I mean, you'd think on the other side of that for the Oilers too, well, depending on where they park, they get parking money. They're probably going to buy some beer. They're probably going to buy some food. You're making money off of that. Probably buying some 50-50 tickets. So you make some money off of that. So you'd obviously rather have a butt in the seat than not.
No, they would rather go through the Oilers process and make sure it's done there that way, the proper way in their eyes, so that they can give it to someone else. But not for that game because we didn't do it in time. You didn't submit enough time. So this ticket's going to go to waste. Jay says they did give them away.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Good.
Mex took his oldest son to the game, Lister Mex
Okay,
Bezos.
well, that's
So
great,
the
'cause
tickets were used.
I didn't. He had told me that he hadn't heard back, so I texted Reed directly.
Yeah.
And then I never had another conversation with my friend. So obviously it ended up happening there. But yeah, that's great. I'm glad they did. But
Jay, thanks for tuning in on your week off.
week off.
Jay's off.
Wow.
Lucky.
Week off. His family does a ski trip this time of year. I always forget where. They couldn't do it last year.
So
Was it last year or was it 2 years ago?
Schedule?
Cable snapped for one of the, it was that
Oh,
Valentine or whatever.
when
The
the lift
cable
was down?
snapped and it was went or something. I forgot which one it was.
So is Reed flying solo for the week, or is someone
Sometimes
joining in with him?
Oh,
No, I think he's going to reach out to certain people maybe to jump on, but at the moment he's flying solo.
yeah. He had Justin Lawrence on when Jay was gone last time. He was great, Justin Lawrence.
And he got a
I
busy
don't know who
week.
that is.
He's with the Alouettes.
Defensive lineman.
D-line.
Oh, a player. Okay,
U of A. Good dude.
nice.
Golden Bears. Pandas. Golden Bear alum, just that's what we are. I feel like we do have to make sure we get to the Oilers here
Oh, yes.
from Saturday. And Connor's comments. Post game was fiery, was busy,
Oh,
was
yeah.
going.
It was good. I was like, okay, this is going to be a good one.
What were the feelings in the moment from Oiler fans from Connor's comments?
Connor's comments.
I should read the comments
Just
first.
read
for
it.
those
Yeah,
that,
read
let
it
me pull
for
it
a
up.
refresh. Because I think some people, because we read it because Rashad basically quoted it and tweeted it.
Yeah, he transcribed it all.
Transcribed it, and then we played it and we talked with Reed about it, and it was like it felt like Connor was going out of his way to give love and praise to the Lightning,
Yeah.
and how well they run things, and
His coach from the Olympics.
His coach from the Olympics, and that's, I'm sure, fresh in his mind. But if you listened and watched Connor's body language, I don't think it's as harsh as if you just read the quote on Twitter.
And that's the thing. Like, a lot of people just going off Twitter, and we're in that day, you read something, and it's,
oh, this is, how dare he say that?
it's just, when you text someone, you can't message tone. There's
Yes.
a Key and Peele skit where one, I think, can't always confuse the two, but one's like being all pleasant. Oh, that's so lovely. And the other was like, this MFer, and like just all pissed off. Tone is hard to understand. So,
yeah.
But this is I'm now going with the words
quote,
here. From Rashog, as he transcribed it, quote, "They got a good system. This is on the Lightning. They're perfectly coached. They all know what they're doing over the ice. It's impressive. They're a great team. They're extremely well coached. They're extremely well organized. They're very, very rehearsed in everything that they do. It's very impressive. And when you do break them down, they got a heck of a goalie to backstop them." Then Rashog asked how they can get to that place with their system as the Oilers. And Connor went with, quote, "That's a coaching question. You can ask Knobber that question. Obviously, we've been playing together a long time, and we feel like we're somewhat rehearsed and organized, but not to their level." Also, Connor did call it a pillow fight, which I loved for the Pacific Division.
Is it ever?
I'm glad they've recognized that the situation they're in it hasn't been going great between all of the teams. But yeah, like we were talking about before the show,
Yeah.
I do feel like there was a lot of admiration for John Cooper.
Yeah.
You know, John Cooper posts, on After Hours, a lot of admiration for Connor. And then, either way now, he started praising the other coach because he likes the other coach. And then the question's asked about Edmonton. And I think either way, there wasn't a good way for Connor to answer that.
Yeah.
He goes the way you got to ask the coach because he's the coach.
Right.
People go, he's throwing the coach under the bus. If he goes and makes an answer and be like, we got to do this, people are like, Knobloch's not listening to Connor.
That is true.
I feel like no matter what he says there, because it was thrown back his way about what the Oilers need to do, it became Connor's going after his coach. And no matter what he said, or the other thing is he could be like, well, I feel like we are there. And then people are like, what's Connor talking about?
And then be like, this guy doesn't know anything.
Yeah, my take on that is the same as you, Matty. I don't think he meant any ill will towards his own coach. That was a praise of Cooper.
Yeah.
And then when I started on your show, like hearing some of the comments come in or whatever about negativity towards it, I'm like, whoa, I don't feel he was at all. I read it and I watched it.
Yep.
I mean, he was also, frustrated of just losing a game 5-2. And so... but was he? That was not a shot at Knob at all. And I think he's going to get a shot. He's going to re-asked about it today before they fly out, and he's going to back his coach. I feel like, and kind of come off of those comments a little bit, so it wasn't portrayed that way. But I don't know. It's one of those things where this team and this organization has churned so many coaches, and the Knobloch is not telling them to have poor defensive coverage in the D zone. He's not telling the goalies, hey, let in a softie here and there. He's not telling the forwards, hey, don't come back and back check and pick up your guy. He's not saying any of those things.
Yep.
He has a system and a structure in place that is not getting executed by the players.
Yep.
Now, is that a combination of maybe the system isn't built right for the players that they have? Maybe. I don't think so, but it could be. But to me, is it the fact that the players aren't good enough to play this in the NHL
weird.
In a positive way defensively?
Right.
Like, that's where I go. To me, it's not a coaching thing. If you flip another coach right now, it's like, come on. The players have to execute the system properly. And if they don't, that's on them. Get better.
There's a lot of reasons for the Oilers being where they are.
Yes.
I will go, like losing Glenn Gulletson. Like when we talk about a coach, it's also, I think, the staff. Gulletson's a big one. And it's making me think, though, of an interesting situation because there's a lot of Ravens fans that I feel like they're doing revisionist history, but maybe they weren't. But they had a great defensive coordinator. Let him go to Seattle to become their head coach. A lot of Ravens fans were like, maybe you should have made that move and punted John earlier and kept him as the coach. And maybe maybe there was a situation where the Oilers, but you go to 2 cups. Like, you're really going to punt Chris Knobloch after 2 cup finals.
You're right. And it's only 2
Bump
years
up
in the
Glenn
league.
Gulletson. The rosters, Dusty, I know talked about it on the morning show today. The roster's also just not as good as the last couple of years.
Absolutely not.
It's just plain and simple, it's not.
No.
Like, there's a lot of different reasons why the Oilers are where they are. I counted yesterday before. I don't know if it was at the end of the night or if it was during the night. I think 18th, 19th in the NHL.
In what? Sorry.
Just overall.
points.
Oh,
Overall standings.
19. I saw it this morning.
That's where you're at. Like, that's low. And even if you go and become the top of the Pacific, you're still in like around the half point. Like, you're not pushing
Well, you're
the top 10.
third place in the Pacific right now. Yeah.
But then there's another side to this though too, where I do go, and this is more for next year than this year. We've gotten to a point where coaching shelf life is small, and as Chris actually reached the end of his coaching shelf life for the modern National Hockey League,
when a new contract kicks in next year.
yeah. But like Cooper, Brendamore, who am I missing?
Rod Brindamore, John Cooper.
Oh, Jared Bednar.
Jed Bednar.
The only ones hired before 2020.
Yeah.
And they were well before 2020.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, we're in a point now where you get 2 seasons, and then whatever time after that, you're on the clock no matter what. Whatever team you're with, you're just on the clock.
So can we then point a finger back at Stan Bowman, who gave him a contract that kicks in next year, that if they're going to fire him before the contract even kicks in, what the heck was Stan Bowman doing?
Here's why I say no, because having coaches' contracts on the book doesn't matter to anyone on this planet except one person.
The owner.
And that's Daryl Cates.
Yeah.
If Daryl Cates is like, yep, I'll pay that contract, cool. Doesn't impact the roster, doesn't impact anything else. So to me, and the one I'll always defend on that one is it doesn't matter unless you're Daryl Cates.
Yeah.
It's not going to impact the cap. It's not going to impact what players you could bring in, what players are going, which is fans is what you care about because you want the team to win. If Chris Knobloch goes away but is getting paid for 3 years, as long as Daryl's cool with it.
The Edmonton Oilers have had 18 coaches in their history. Chris Knobloch is now the 5th longest tenured coach in Oilers history at 222 games. He's chasing Todd McClellan at 266 right now.
Does it go Sather McTavish?
Yep.
Yeah, it's the 2.
Then Ronnie Lowe at 341. Then McClellan at 266. Knobloch 222. Ted Green 188. Dave Tippett 171. Tom Rennie 164. John Muckler 160. Jay Woodcroft 133. Dallas Aikens 113. Pat Quinn, Kevin Lowe both at 82. Ken Hitchcock 62. Todd Nelson 51. Ralph Kruger 48. George Burnett 35. And Brian Watson 18.
18. Well, I guess he must have been an interim.
Well, I think Slats gave him the job the second year the team was in the league, and then knew that it wasn't working and punted him and went back behind the bench. I think that's the story. If I'm mistaken, please let me know.
Knobloch's the 10th most tenured coach in the National Hockey League, right?
Which is wild.
That is wild.
And just to wrap up the how things went with that quote from McDavid, the tone went from, "Holy crap, did you see this, Tom?" I saw it on the text line and in the nasty chat. So I went and looked at it, and Rashog had it. I read the exact same thing Maddie did. And then we started breaking it down, and it's like, oof, that seemed pretty harsh. And then we had Reed on, and Reed was like, you know what? It might not be as harsh as it is when you read it. And then when we had the clip, we played it, and it's like, I can see what he's trying to do. He's being respectful, and then I can see what he's talking about. I mean, obviously the Oilers are not in the same atmosphere, stratosphere as Tampa is right now, and he's trying to choose his words carefully, and he's in a bit of a jam with these questions.
Yeah.
Chris says, I'm good friends with Brandon Hagel, and John Cooper's the most likable human being outside of the rink. And I interviewed him once on air at 1260. And I fell in love myself with John Cooper.
Wow.
I will defend John Cooper to the rest of the time because of how wonderful he was over a phone interview that I had with him. Yeah. That was like maybe 10, 12 minutes long. But he was so great and just so Like, just it was an awesome chat. He didn't have to take the time to talk to me and stuff, and but the way like he was thoughtful with his answers, even with me and all that stuff. Like, I could see that's the case, and I could see if I'm seeing that after a 10-minute interview, whatever.
Yeah,
Connor spending 2 weeks with the guy.
Yeah.
And then you're playing against him. I could see why you'd maybe be just like, yeah, the guy's like, you just want to heap some praise on that guy. And then again, as the question gets asked about your team, and then you're in a tough spot because no matter how you answer that, I think we're having a conversation today based off of social media about whatever he would have said. Yeah. Whichever way he went with that, we were going to have a conversation because they're not coached by John Cooper, who I think 31 teams in the National Hockey League, maybe take a few, maybe 28 or whatever, that if John Cooper ever said, I'm leaving Tampa, should all fire their coach immediately to try to get John Cooper if they can.
And lots would.
Yep.
Because he's just that damn good.
Everyone was touting up Pittsburgh Penguins coach and how good he was, and then they went off of him. Rangers jumped on him seconds, Mike Sullivan, and how's that played out for the Rangers?
Well, not well.
Yeah.
And then the Rangers also have a unique GM and owner that make a unique combination that doesn't necessarily always lead to success.
So that was going to be my point, is it's a team. And you need a great quality owner, you need a quality president of hockey ops, you need a quality GM, you need a quality head coach, you need quality assistant coaches, which is an issue in Edmonton as well, with Gully gone.
It's hard to replace maybe the best. They're out there.
And when you look at the structure of Tampa Bay, I mean, if John Cooper left, all that other strength is still there. And if you bring in another coach that's going to work in this already incredible system, he's probably going to succeed. Where Mike Sullivan left a pretty solid situation, talent was dropping significantly, even though now they have a new coach and they've done far exceeded expectations. But he's gone into New York in a culture and a situation that isn't great, and he doesn't see the same success. There's no that shouldn't surprise anybody. So when you come into the Oilers organization, it almost doesn't matter when all that other stuff around you is not working.
Yep.
And I don't care who your coach is, you're gonna struggle.
Yep.
In this situation.
Yep.
Coach of the Year conversation this year is going to be a fascinating one.
Yes, it is.
Because we've had so many teams that have done well that you weren't expecting, and there are so many good choices.
Look at Rick Bowness in Columbus. I thought he was retired.
Rick Bowness, could he get it? Lindy Ruff with Buffalo.
Right.
John Cooper needs to get a Coach of the Year 1 year.
At some point, right?
And at some point I thought it was maybe going to be this year, but then it was Lindy Ruff going to get it. Now, you could make a slight argument. I hate it, but Joel Quenneville. Who else can you throw up there? Because there's Glenn Gullitson.
Buffalo's coach.
Yeah, Lindy Ruff there. There's quite a few that you're just like, wow, that's a good argument. You got a good argument there. That's a good argument.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting conversation. My bias, I want John Cooper to win it. The guy doesn't have one. He's been the best coach in hockey for so many years. He's been a finalist twice. Yeah. The guy should have a Coach of the Year award. But like the Norris and all of that, it's not given to who did the best coaching job generally in the year. It's which team surprised, which team did something that we weren't expecting.
Buffalo. It's got to be Buffalo.
And Buffalo. Actually, what does Play Alberta have for odds for that?
That's crazy.
They're not getting the respect maybe they deserve. You're right. It is crazy.
Like, we talked about it last week about the GM getting turfed and like what the heck happened? Like what was going on with that's such a mind-boggling situation to see what they've accomplished since that move. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, Maddie's been joking about Kevin Adams getting Coach of the Year.
GM of the Year.
Or GM of the Year, pardon
me. Give him GM of the Year.
Yeah.
It hasn't done anything.
I'm going to start the campaign.
Well, he wasn't able to convince what's his nuts from St. Louis to the defenseman from St. Louis.
Oh, Parayko.
Parayko to waive his no move clause
because he wasn't there to convince him.
That's right.
Yeah,
because he was fired. Lindy Ruff is the odds-on favorite right now according to Play Alberta. Minus 278. John Cooper's plus 290. Then it goes Joel Quenneville, Dan Muse, Marty St. Louis, Ryan Warsofsky.
That's the guy in
San Jose.
What's his face isn't even on here. Rick Bowness isn't even on here. But that makes sense. By the way, for Norris, Bouchard he's a clear number 3. He's not close enough to 1 and 2. Werenski's the favorite. but Quinn Hughes is far from Evan Bouchard. So that's according to PA for that one.
So he's third. Well, and okay, so
Werenski's minus 227. Cale Makar is plus 215. So right now the odds are saying Werenski should win. Makar second. Bouchard's 19 to 1. He's plus 1900.
Quinn Hughes?
Yeah. Quinn Hughes is plus 3,300 and Bouchard's just shy of 2,000. So like it's Evan Bouchard's kind of sitting by himself. Like, I don't know what it would take to get with those other two, but he's also in a good spot that he wouldn't fall out of a finalist if Play Alberta odds say anything.
Wow. Interesting. I mean, his stats are outstanding, and it kind of makes sense. But I mean, the Quinn Hughes perception in the league is far superior to Evan Bouchard's as a defenseman.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about it's not the coach telling the forwards not to miss a guy in front or back check and this and that. I was going to throw in, it's not the coaches telling Darnell Nurse and Evan Bouchard to go and try to hit the same guy and then go to the same side of the net and leave the guy wide open so he can deflect it in like they did on Thursday.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to pile on.
Well, why not? That's what we're here for.
I did it a few minutes later.
Yeah.
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 Anyway.
And how about the whole division, though? Like,
It's terrible.
not one single, if the playoffs were to start right now and it was 1 to 16, not one team from the Pacific Division would be in the playoffs. Like,
Wow.
Anaheim Ducks are number 1 in the division.
Yep.
They would not make the playoffs in the East.
Holy crap.
That's crazy.
They have 82 points now, by the way. They have 5 up on Edmonton.
Yeah, they have their 13th most points in the NHL. The Ducks.
Yeah. But, okay, so would they, go look at the wild card.
Yeah, in terms of just swapping them over,
They'd be the only team
they
in the
wouldn't make it
Pacific.
in the East.
Right. Okay.
But if you did 1 through 16,
Yeah.
there's just like the West is just overall so bad. But they are not. If the Ducks were in the East, they would be the second team out of a wild card spot. They wouldn't even be the first team out of the wild card spot. Which, by the way, Detroit falling out of playoff spot. Oof.
Ooh. And Vancouver has been eliminated.
Yeah.
They've got the E beside their name.
Congratulations.
Nice.
That's why for the Oilers, there is still a very clear pathway for them to get to the
I know.
conference final.
I don't even see them just with how the Kraken and the Kings and the Sharks have been playing. I don't see the Oilers. It's hard, even if the Oilers don't help themselves, to see them fall of the Pacific spot right now.
Right.
Just into a wild card spot.
Even if you go deeper onto the Anaheim and San Jose in particular, I know San Jose is not in a playoff spot right now, but even their records are kind of smoke and mirrors. If you go look at how many overtime wins and shootout wins they have, it's far, far, far above average. And so if they were even just average in overtime and shootout wins versus losses in those situations, their points are significantly less.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're saying if we could do like the 3-point system type thing?
Well, right. So if it was a 3-point system, or or just those teams,
Well,
I don't know where
you got to
Oilers are
throw
in that,
Vegas
but-
into this because the Ducks, they have 23 regulation wins this season.
Yeah.
They have 31 regulation overtime wins this season, and then 8 shootout wins this season. But
That's crazy.
right there, they have 23 regulation wins out of 39 wins. The Oilers have 26 regulation wins out of 34 wins.
So probably average.
Yeah, so just like not that much higher, but the other one, you're talking about from 23 to 39.
That's insane.
The Seattle has 25 regulation wins out of 31, so that's actually rather close. The Golden Knights, this is the stat for them, they have 14 overtime losses.
That's like Boston a couple of years ago. They had like 23 overtime games and they had lost 15 of them. And we're like, what are the Boston Bruins? Are they actually a good team? And it's like, no, they had an inflated record because of 15 OTLs, and Vegas is right there.
Which they have 14 overtime losses, 25 overall, so they have 9 regulation losses. But that now Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota also are in double digits of overtime losses right now. Colorado at 10, Dallas at 11, Minnesota at 12. Colorado has 10 overtime losses. They have 13 losses overall this season though. They've only lost in regulation 3 times.
Yeah,
so when they lose, they make sure they get themselves a point out of it.
Yeah.
Same with the Stars for large, 11 overtime losses, 16. Whereas like the Golden Knights, they have 14 again, 25. Like they've also lost.
Look at
11.
San Jose too, because San Jose, I mean, they're not going to make the playoffs, but they're not. You take Macklin Celebrini off that team is last place in this league by miles. Like they're awful hockey team. Without Macklin Celebrini. So what's theirs though? Even with Macklin, their overtime.
They have 6 overtime losses
but how many wins in overtime and shootout?
Oh, okay. So yeah, 20 regulation wins, 11, and they've won 32 this season. So they've won 12 games in overtime.
Games in overtime.
If you bump that up, only 2 in the shootout.
Huh.
The Oilers do not have a shootout win this season. Neither does Utah.
Utah tomorrow night, by the way, that's going to be a tough test for Edmonton.
Absolutely.
Which is why, Utah would be the top team in the Pacific right now with 80. Oh no, they'd be 2 back of. Sorry, they're 2 back of Anaheim.
Except for the fact that Utah has had to play Dallas, Colorado, Minnesota, and just so you know, Utah is 0-4 against the mighty Chicago Blackhawks this year.
Interesting.
But if Utah got to play in the Pacific Division and play more games against San Jose and Anaheim and Edmonton and Vegas and Vancouver, their record would be far better than it is.
They're 11-10-2 in the Central, Utah. In the Pacific, they're 10-6-2.
Yeah. That's a big difference.
Well, and Utah's coming to the Pacific.
When?
Like in the playoffs.
Oh, in the playoffs. Okay.
Right? Like they're coming to the Pacific. Like they should, like they're playing well enough that they get to avoid the Central for the playoffs.
Yep.
Would they be the favorite?
I still will put the Oilers as the favorite.
I think I would
just because of
too,
playoff experience. But then there's also Leon's comments from being at Bayern Munich on the weekend, where he was speaking to the German reporters, and he said, I hope they go for a run. I don't know if you saw those.
I caught some of it. It was right before the game on Saturday.
He said he was it's being translated, because I don't speak German.
Yeah. Why not, Matthew?
I know, I should have studied a little harder. It was something along the lines, paraphrasing, like he basically was saying, I hope the team goes on a run so I can go help them. And immediately there was a panic of, well, what are you talking about, Ryan? You're supposed to be ready for the start of the run, in theory.
Yeah.
And so now there's question marks about that.
When you don't go from unhealthy the last game of the regular season to healthy 3 days later when the playoff starts. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Like that, he's either going to come back, if he's healthy, he's going to come back and play the last weekend or whatever and get his game legs before playoffs, or he's going to start in the playoffs, or he's not going to start in the playoffs. He's going to miss more time. Or if he starts in the playoffs, he's not going to be close to 100%.
Yeah.
Or he's going to be ready a week before the end of the regular season, and it's literally, why risk this? We're going to have you start for the playoffs.
Boy.
Rest. With you're Leon Draisaitl. You don't need to get your game legs going. You'll figure it out.
Yeah. I would be more comfortable with him playing the final weekend at least, just to.
I wouldn't need him playing against Vancouver in the last game of the season. I don't trust that team.
Well,
like they have nothing to play for. The Oilers better not have to play for anything, because I don't want.
They might look where they are right now.
Well, that's the thing.
Connor's.
I don't want Connor playing. If I'm the Oilers, I don't want Leon playing. I don't want Ingram playing. I don't want Bouchard playing.
Well, you might.
I don't want Hyman playing.
You might have to. You might be needing those points to. You're going to be battling for playoff position. You're also playing the last 12 games or whatever it is without Leon. You're in third place right now.
Yeah.
Like, man.
I don't trust LA, Seattle, or San Jose to push the Oilers for the rest of this season. So you'd be fighting for a battle of home ice in the first round against Vegas, or potentially the Pacific. And right now, I don't want to win the Pacific, because then you get Utah. I think the easier matchup is Vegas or Anaheim. Easier matchup than Utah. So I don't. And then we saw last year, the Oilers' home ice doesn't mean everything, because they lost. You know, it was 2 years ago. Hey, if they had home ice, would have won the Stanley Cup. Had home ice, didn't win the Stanley Cup.
So the Oilers have one 3-game winning streak, not a 4-game winning streak, a 3-game winning streak all year with Leon in the lineup. Now he's out of the lineup. What, like, you can't expect the Oilers to put together any type of winning streak right now.
No, but you can win 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I mean, their schedule is interesting, because they've got they're playing the teams the rest of the way. That
some four-pointers.
There's a couple. I know that they're playing my Hawks still. They're playing Vancouver. A couple of games, but
they've got Anaheim
this weekend
once, I think.
Yeah, 1:30 start.
They've got the Kings twice, I feel like.
San Jose
Vegas
again.
The
Thursday.
Sharks. Vegas is twice.
Yep.
Utah twice.
Yep.
They have Colorado, but that's one of Colorado's last games of the season. So Colorado, actually, what are they with Dallas right now?
Maybe Colorado will be the one that's resting everybody.
Yeah,
They could.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be it. just real quick, I had a thought on that Leon comment thing. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't read too much into it personally, but
It's just to say from where I read, because there's something that's not right with me. Knobloch says we don't, I can't remember what he said, but we didn't have a timeline necessarily. The statement comes out and just says Leon's out
for the regular season.
Then the next day, Stan Bowman says, no. At the end, after people are talking about it, then comes up no, he'll be ready for the start of the playoffs. After everyone talks for a day. And then Leon makes this comment where it's like, well, and he's seeing a doctor that, a pretty big specialist and stuff like that. It's not just a standard thing to me if you're seeing a specialist necessarily.
No.
It's not just a standard injury. You're flying out to Germany to see someone. Why are we flying out to Germany to see someone necessarily when your doctors can't? But then also to say, I hope they go on a run so I can help this team. There's just something's not sitting right with me. There's too many altering things being thrown out there in multiple languages that something doesn't smell right to me.
I understand that, and that's a good instinct, I think. But in regard to Leon's comment specifically, he's there for a soccer game. He's having fun, and he's just trying to say, yeah, I hope it goes well, and then they go on a run, and I can help them out. Yeah. Go on the run the next 10, 11 games.
Yeah, the translation too can...
I think,
the one thing could be I hope they're going to run to lock a playoff spot so then I can go help them. That could be that one.
Right.
But it also could mean, still, I hope that they can get to a second or a third round so then I can go help them because I am not going to be ready to start these playoffs.
Yeah.
Now, I think he'd be cognitive not to say something like that and let it slip.
Unless he doesn't think that, he's not thinking in that moment because he's thinking I'm in Germany. I'm talking in German. I'm not thinking everyone's going to jump on this.
See, I think he's smart enough that he knows that it's...
Yeah.
How many Swedish interviews end up back here and they translate and they read the lines? How many Finnish ones with Jesse Puljujärvi where they read between the lines and they translate and you're like, I don't know.
You let the guards slip just for a little bit because you think I'm just in Germany.
Yeah.
For a split second, you're not thinking perfectly that your words, okay, how are these going to translate into English? And what's everyone going to say in English?
Well, the Swedish, the ones that I found the most revealing were the Swedish ones and the most truthful. And if a guy would say something that would catch your attention, I would call up Uffe Bodin or Peter Sibner and I'd be like, what's going on here? And then usually those guys have an actual conversation with the specific player. And they'll be like, oh, he's pissed off. He's not happy with this, not happy with that. It happened with Arvidsson when I caught wind that he had asked for a trade. I think I was talking to Uffe, and he's like, oh, yeah, that guy wants out of there. And he's like, I talked to his agent or whatever. It's not going well. And I'm like, oh, okay. But the Finns and the Germans and the Czechs, whenever there's those interviews and it gets translated, I'm always like, there's some ambiguity and nuance in there that you have to be a little bit careful about. That's why with this specific quote, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not as...
But another interesting little thing though, when you look at when he was leaving, he kind of gave a little shot to the Oilers, and Mangiapane in his first interview in Chicago threw a little shot at the Oilers. And sure, if you're the guy that's the odd man out and you're getting the healthy scratched, and okay, you're probably going to feel a little bitter or disappointed or whatever. But when these guys make a point of calling out the Oilers after they leave, man, it says something. Because most guys, when they leave, it's not like when Dickinson and Murphy got here, they didn't sit there and say, thank God I'm out of Chicago. They loved being in Chicago. Mm-hmm. If Chicago would have come to them and asked them to re-sign, they probably would have considered it. Mm-hmm. They didn't bash the organization. Mm-hmm. Guys leaving here bash the organization. That says something. I don't know what it says, but it says something.
When the Paul Coffey stuff happened and there's the shift in the idea and what they should do, and even going back to the Skinner trade, I said it, there's something's not right. It's the way it functions is not smooth.
Yeah.
And I have concerns about it, and I still do. I still don't know what the hell is going to happen, how they're going to handle this coach thing. And It's the influences and the outside voices that shouldn't have persuasion seem to, and it's creating whatever the hell this is right now.
Well, it's going to be so fascinating to see what happens in the aftermath of the season, because if they have an early exit, or if they do make it to the conference final before meeting Colorado or whatever, the outcome could be very different. But do you see a way where there is a complete washout of the Oilers coach, GM, president, and they start from scratch? I do.
It shouldn't happen, but there's if things don't go well, I think the panic switch would it'd be more likely for that to be hit.
Yeah. But then on the other hand, if they make it to the conference final, how do you get rid of Knoblauch? That's two Stanley Cup finals and a conference final in 3 years?
Because the reason why they would is because he's the easiest guy to
get rid of.
Blow out,
Yeah.
Yeah, because of this organization, because of just the smoke that's coming from there, I wouldn't say it's not. There's no chance. There's zero chance.
I agree.
There's a greater than 0% chance that there could be massive firing. Like if the Oilers lose in the first round to the Vegas Golden Knights, let's say, what would happen? I think the most likely thing that will come if the Oilers lose in a first or a second round is Knoblauch's gone. Stan gets to hire his own head coach. We go that way. But then there's a part of me that goes, would they be willing to just run all of this back? And John Cooper talked about it on After Hours on Saturday, where it was, and he actually referenced the NCAA March Madness when I was paying attention a little bit. But Virginia as a number one seed, they were the first ever number one seed to lose to a 16. Remember watching it, first time ever we saw it happen, and it wasn't even really that close in the end, I don't think. But they got dominated. The next year they won the tournament. Next year, with a lot of those players back, Tony Bennett, they went and won that tournament. And I think he used that with his team where they lost to the Blue Jackets in 4. And then they won the Cup the next year.
Right.
So I wonder if there's a level of the Oilers be like, you want to know, it wasn't our year. Knoblauch has to be better. We got to build a little bit of a better team. Okay, Jeff Jackson, we're gonna run this back next year. And let's hope everyone learns to the summer from all the mistakes across the board, defensemen too, goalies, all that. We're going to supplement this team with certain things, and we're going to try it next year. And because ultimately, in the end, you could just fire Chris Knoblauch in November if you want and hire a different coach.
Yeah. It's going to be fascinating to see how it plays out.
I just don't get the pure love of Pete DeBoer. I just don't understand it.
You brought it up, I think, a week or two ago, and you're like, are we forgetting how much he got bashed around here by Oiler fans for how he got out-coached the last 2 years by Chris Knoblauch?
I don't know why he's viewed as the savior.
He's the next biggest name.
I would rather there'd be someone else in that way. Peter DeBoer, throughout his history as a coach in this league, is a guy that's going to get you close, but he's not going to win it.
Yeah.
He's done it time and time again. I think Devils, Sharks, Golden Knights, Stars. Think there's Cup appearances in there.
The only one he didn't was with the Golden Knights and Stars.
Either Sharks. Was he the coach that they lost to the Pens?
Yeah.
Did he bring the Devils to the Cup and lose?
Yes.
Okay.
In 2014.
Yeah.
Was it 20?
He's a damn good coach through the regular season and through the early rounds of the playoffs, but he doesn't finish the job.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you're upset with Chris Knoblauch and be like, the answer is this guy who Knoblauch had beat in the end. I just
Ottinger stuff too.
I feel like there's just got to be the treatment of Ottinger to wrap it all up. Like
that was not good.
No,
but the same thing in that Stuart Skinner was a better goalie over Ottinger.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think anyone can look anyone in the eyes and say that Stuart Skinner is a better goaltender than Jake Ottinger, because you'd be lying.
Mm-hmm.
But in that series, he did outplay him. Yeah. And so the same thing, did Knoblauch outcoach him? Maybe. But is Knoblauch a better coach than DeBoer? I don't think too many people are going to say that he isn't.
He's 2.5 or 2 3/4 years into his NHL coaching tenure, whereas Pete DeBoer has a dozen.
Right.
This is only his second full season.
Right.
So it's not even two and a quarter.
So two.
It's all we're coming up on. Oh no, you're right.
He's
Then
at
because I see what you're saying.
233.
Yeah, because he came in November.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. You're right.
Yeah.
It's
it's
just
less
because your
than-
experience doesn't mean you're better, right?
No, I know, but yeah, and you get better as a coach, more command, and you adapt and all that stuff, evolve. I'm just saying, like, he's very, very young into his NHL coaching career compared to a DeBoer, who I think is his first year with the Devils, like 2011 or something.
So he was a Panthers coach from 08 till 11, missed the playoffs, but then took over the Devils 11 to 12, went to the Cup final, lost. Then fifth in the Atlantic, missed playoffs, sixth in the Atlantic, missed playoffs, fired midseason. Went to the Sharks, lost in the Cup final. They finished third in the Pacific, lost Edmonton in the first round, lost to Vegas in the second round, lost in the conference final to St. Louis. Then he got fired during the season with the Sharks. Goes to Vegas, loses in the conference final to Dallas, loses in the conference final to Montreal, then missed the playoffs, gets fired. Dallas, conference finals, conference final, lost in all three.
Yeah.
That's a lot of top fours.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to get you very close.
Yeah.
And I guess the only hope that you're going to be is he's going to turn into then, I guess, Paul Maurice in the end, who also was always a really good coach that couldn't get it done. I guess that's the. I honestly just don't understand this full Pete DeBoer being the pure and only answer to this organization.
Well, you'd have to go back and look at them and look at the rosters too and see were they the best team. I mean, if you're getting a team to the Final Four, is a coach the difference maker between winning a Stanley Cup and losing a Stanley Cup, or is it what your players? I mean, who's the more talented team? Who's the harder working team? Who has a better goaltender?
Who brings it together at the right time?
Who's healthier?
Yeah.
But ultimately, man, I think if he's been to the semifinal that many times, hasn't got it done, I don't necessarily think it's his fault.
No, but if you're going to give, to me, if you get credit, you get blame. So if I'm going to give you even credit that your team's got to a conference final, you get the blame that you didn't get to a cup final.
Sure.
From a coach. Like, because, Paul Maurice, I'm going to give him credit for his coaching for the Panthers winning 2 cups.
Sure.
Which means that Knobloch also, he got out-coached to me then in the end by Paul Maurice. I just, if that's the way I've always just viewed things. If I'm going to give someone credit for something, they also then have to get blamed for something. So it's like, and this is where I'll just take it to a Connor perspective. If the Oilers go win cups, Connor gets praised. If the Oilers lose cups, I don't like blaming everyone else, and Connor gets not a single ounce of a little bit of, you couldn't get it done type thing. Because if you win, you're going to be the one that gets most of the credit.
Yeah.
Then you have to handle some of the blame. And I'll do that with coaching too.
So Paul Maurice, though, when he was in Winnipeg, had a heck of a roster.
Yeah.
And arguably the best goalie in the world. And he saw very little success with them.
Yeah. Which is why I say that like you're hoping then, I guess the one argument for Pete DeBoer would be you're hoping he turns into Paul Maurice.
Yeah.
Where longtime coach was close so many times, and then you finally get it done.
Yeah.
And you win those cups. But the Oilers beat Pete DeBoer twice.
Yeah.
I guess flip side that is, Oilers beat Dallas twice and they took an Oiler coach. Maybe you guys reverse that or something.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Murray McCourt, VIP Golf Show, Ranch Golf and Country Club, Tom Gazzola, Matt Iwanyk with you here. Coming up at 11, we've got Lock Show, we've got Oilstream, EST Afternoons, Reed Wilkins Show without Jay Milne. That's all till 6 o'clock. MCTV Pipeline Show on our audio streams afterwards as well. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Again, the official drink of the EST Hangout is Dylan's Small Batch Distilleries. Refreshing cocktails made by the #1 canned cocktail brand, made the right way, crafted right here in Canada. Have you guys been watching? Do you guys are March Madness people at all or anything?
I've had it on, but I'm not like dialed in. Like it's on, but I'm doing other stuff.
I'm just surprised we had actually a decent upset. #1 Florida went down to Iowa. Congratulations to Paul Sir.
He called that one?
No,
he's from Iowa.
Oh.
So he loves his Iowa
Overall,
stuff.
though, there's kind of two upsets because
Wisconsin lost to High Point. Texas beat. Who did Texas beat?
Texas beat a 3 seed, I want to say.
Yeah, who was it? Why am I forgetting who? Oh, Gonzaga.
Oh, Gonzaga, right. Yeah.
Iowa beat Florida.
Other than that, it's
That's
been
kind of been it.
like I think a 5 seed beat a 4 seed in the last run, but
Yeah, those
That's
aren't
not too big of a deal.
of something where we're sitting there being like, ooh.
Yeah.
Texas is the lowest seed, I think, still going, or highest seed, whoever you want to word it. And then we had Iowa and we had High Point, and that's kind of been it.
yeah. So
I'm surprised Florida got knocked out, actually.
not as crazy exciting as some years with all the upsets, but I don't know. My team got upset in the first round, so I'm like, I guess I don't need. I'm a Tar Heels guy.
Yeah, I don't like the Tar Heels as a Duke fan.
Well, I
But
don't
I
like
had them-
I don't like
Yeah, I
Duke as a
know.
Tar Heels fan, so
I don't picked North Carolina to go 2 rounds, so it kind of stunk. But they had that was the biggest comeback in first round history by
was
VCU.
crazy.
19 points.
I quit paying attention. I wasn't watching. I was following along on my phone, and so I kind of quit paying attention because I thought, we got this one in the bag, good. And then the hell, overtime.
And it was a low scoring overtime.
Yeah.
For the longest time, there was a basket each.
Yeah, I thought that there must have been an injury or something because the score was not changing.
No.
Like, whoa. Yeah.
It's a fight. It says where we start, like Breyer starts it, but Scotty's was earlier this year because of the Olympics. But like you get that ramp up the spring, and now we've got March Madness first week. Baseball regular season gets going this week. We're 3 weeks away. 3 weeks away from Masters. I think this week, next week, the week after.
3
I
weeks,
think it is. Masters is going to be here before we know it. Mm-hmm. Before that is Easter, and it's all gets going. Can't wait for the Masters.
Murray, you're not going to finagle your way down there again?
Not this year, no. I did not get a repeat invite for this year, but I think it'll happen again.
I hope so.
Yeah, me too.
I hope so.
Yeah, it was an experience of a lifetime that I will never forget.
Did you see the Rory menu?
I did.
Did you like it? Because you're not like the most adventurous eater.
I am not the most adventurous eater, so no, I didn't love it.
No?
I saw.
Did you see it?
I didn't look at it, but I saw that Instagram they had like the last 5 Masters Champions dinners, and I saw Scotty Scheffler had Uncle or Grandpa Chef's like ribs or something like that. And I'm like, that
Yes, please.
would probably be awesome.
Bubba Watson, people were showing, had like the most basic. It was like a Caesar salad, and they had chicken breast, where you get the sides with it, and confetti cake. That was it.
Oh,
like that's all it was.
I would be in for that meal.
So
Yeah.
Rory's is peach and ricotta flatbread. These are the starters.
Okay.
Rock shrimp tempura, bacon wrapped dates, and grilled elk sliders.
The sliders sound great.
You want to eat peach and ricotta flatbread?
I'd try it.
No, I wouldn't
What's
eat
wrong?
any
What
of
do you
that
mean
yet.
try it? It's just
It doesn't.
it's got balsamic hot honey and basil. It's peach and ricotta on a bread.
Yeah, I would try it. I would have 1 or 2 little bites or slices of it.
That doesn't pique your interest.
Then I'd go to the sliders.
And elk meat, no thanks.
No,
Really?
Oh, it's good.
No thanks.
Why not elk meat?
Because it's gamey, a little gamey for me.
That's gonna be delicious.
It is a little bit.
Yellowfin tuna carpaccio.
Yeah, no thanks.
I'll eat that. Wagyu filet mignon
Yep.
or a seared
that I'm
salmon.
in.
Can I get both?
Get the fillet.
Probably.
It comes with traditional Irish champ. Don't know what that is. Sauteed Brussels sprouts, amazing.
Ugh.
Glazed carrots with brown butter.
Those sound good.
Crispy
That sounds good.
Vidalia onion rings.
Yep.
And then you wrap it up with sticky toffee pudding.
Yep.
That's okay. I'll take that too.
That whole meal is like amazing. And then he's got like apparently some really good wines.
Oh, well, now I'm in.
What does he have for wines? 2015 Salon S Brut Champagne. He's got a 2022, don't even know what that is. A 1990 Chateau Lafite Rothschild, a Bordeaux. and a
Yes, please. French
1989
wine,
Bordeaux.
yes. I love French.
So he's got a
wine.
bunch of things. And I believe the champ has to pay for it.
Really?
Well, I think
that's
he,
the
I think
thing.
he can afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can afford that.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So what's on your guys'
I don't
master's
even
meal?
Thank you for asking.
That would be, it'd
Yeah.
be too tough.
It would there would have to be some sort of risotto or some pasta element to it.
Well, for the Italian in you, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll bring the Ukrainian to it for the first time ever.
So
Holubtsi
pierogies?
and pirohe and nalishnike and some borscht, all that. We're going Ukrainian. There's
Lots of
enough of all this
cabbage.
other stuff. This is what we're eating tonight. No, I
Lots
don't
of
know.
cabbage in there.
That's a good question of what I would do.
Well, I always ask people this way. You getting to know people is a great question. If you were on death row
It's too tough.
and you're planning your final supper,
Oh man.
what are you eating? So it's kind of the same question. Your master's dinner or your final supper?
Yeah.
It's too hard because I love so many things.
Well,
I could go burger, I could go steak.
steak.
Why
you could
would
go
you go
pastas, you could go
burger?
lasagna. Because you could make such incredible gourmet burgers.
Why have a burger when you can just have steak? Doesn't make any sense.
Kind of cheesecake
Because
at the end.
It's
because those fixins that you can add to a burger that you can't add to a steak can really be amazing and delicious.
the worst cut of beef there is. It's the beef that's not good enough to be a steak. They make it ground beef.
You can make it with the good cuts.
Well, I guess
If this is my last meal, or if this is Masters,
Yeah.
I'm asking like maybe a Wagyu or something, ground that up and put it into a burger, and let's really burger this up.
Now, have you had Wagyu before?
No, but I would love to, like real Wagyu.
I've had it once, and I'm like, I know it's expensive, and it's yes, but
Is it the marbling
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting way more than what it was.
Okay, what's your menu? Do you know? Because like you don't have a vast list of food you love, so it'd be easier to bring it down to one. What would you go with?
I'm a pretty basic guy. For my appetizer, I'd probably do wings and dry ribs.
Yeah.
Saucy wings.
Well, I'd maybe do a mix of hot and salt and pepper.
Okay.
Nobody's saying no to those.
Yeah. I kind of like, I want to throw an Italian thing in because I would do a little fettuccine Alfredo.
Oh yeah.
Would be good. And then I want my steak frit. So give me a high-end ribeye steak or New York steak and some really yummy French fries. Then I need my other French part of it where bread and like baguette and high-end cheese. Yes, please. And then, I don't know, I might have to go with my mother's homemade coffee cake. I don't like coffee. I've never had a sip of coffee in my life.
But coffee cake.
coffee cake.
Can't say I don't like coffee then.
I like
If you've-
coffee crisps too, but
They're
But if
great.
you've never had coffee, you can't say you don't like it.
I don't know. I will never have a sip of coffee in my life.
That's fine,
Never
but you
have,
don't know
never
if
will.
you like the taste or not.
But does
'cause you've
coffee
never
cake
had
taste like coffee?
I don't think so.
I don't assume maybe like a hint of it.
That confetti cake sounded pretty good too.
Confetti cake sounds. The
Dessert. I don't know what
the
want.
dessert,
love
I know
desserts.
exactly. You think about this because I, in this last 2 minutes, have been thinking about my favorite dessert of all time was at this restaurant in Texas called Trulux, and they would give, and it was a fresh carrot cake, like stacked this high, and they bring in pecans and hot caramel, and they drizzle it all on top, and it was magnifique, so good.
I'll skip all that dessert. I'll just put my mouth underneath the hot caramel.
Oh my god, it
yeah.
was
Like
die
tiramisu.
for.
Tiramisu would be up there for me. Love a good true tiramisu.
Tiramisu's good.
I love all sorts of cakes. Like there's not a bad cake out there. Pies are delicious.
Pie is delicious.
I love my sweets.
So maybe you just have multiple dessert courses.
No, you got to work
I would
towards
have
it
to-
through a
I would
delicious
have
meal.
to be like I would have my master's. There would be a buffet because there'd be so much different food. I'm like I need it all.
A little of everything. Well, yeah. I had listed off a whole bunch of things too. The portion size would have to be a little smaller because otherwise if you're gonna get death row the next day or whatever, if we're going with that one,
I'm
who cares if
exploding.
you feel
crap.
gross?
Yeah,
then, I
exactly.
guess,
Yeah, I want to explode on them.
Yeah.
I want to leave a mess.
Some of the things you guys were talking about, you guys eating at Vivo?
Yeah.
It's been a long time, but
My God, their Caesar salad there. 'cause you
grilled
remember-
Caesar salad?
Grilled Caesar salad is so good. Fettuccine Alfredo, OMG.
Yeah.
it's funny about the grilled Caesar salad because I remember watching Kitchen Nightmares of Gordon Ramsay years ago.
Yeah.
And some restaurant did grilled Caesar salad, and Gordon Ramsay ripped it. Like, why is this on a grill or something? I'm like, well, I had it at Vivo. It was actually delicious. Like, it really was. And it's now actually a thing on many menus around the world.
Yeah.
And I've always, like, every so often, like is this, like, is Vivo wrong? Or is, like, Gordon Ramsay was wrong on that one. But I was always like, because I had it, and he was ripping it. I'm like, no, this is delicious. You take a lemon, you put it on there, too, and it's
Yeah,
amazing.
It was amazing.
I watched
And the
him-
Parm cheese. And
Oh,
capers.
I like capers. I watched Gordon Ramsay. I don't know. I think it was on social media or maybe YouTube, but Gordon Ramsay made a straight up just cheeseburger. And you would like think maybe it'd be Wagyu beef or whatever. No, he just made up a straight up cheeseburger. It looked amazing. he did the patty and everything. He's like, I added this. All right, this is how we're gonna grill it. We're gonna smash it down a little bit. But you want it to have some weight to it, and then this is what we're doing for the bun. And it was all stuff that we can go and get at the grocery store next door, and it looked just the phenomenon. It wasn't fancy or anything. He's like, here you go, cheeseburger.
Ground beef, salt, pepper, all it needs. Grill that. That's all you need.
I don't disagree with that.
When the red juices come to the top, you could flip. However long it took the first side, probably about 3/4 of the time for the second side. It's done.
My mom,
That's your burger.
Okay.
Eva G has come up with her own concoction. Instead of just salt and pepper in the ground beef, she mixes in a lot of stuff, like stuff she's grown out of the garden and this and that. It's amazing. It's very flavorful, and she likes bigger patties. And yeah, like I have nothing but time and respect for the traditional salt and pepper. But when my mom makes burgers, it's like, what did you put in this? This is so good.
Well, a couple of years ago on the show, I was talking about how I would basically never eat hamburgers ever. Because why have a hamburger when you have steak? And people were bashing me, and Joaquin chimed in and was bashing me for...
Because it was me, you, and Joaquin that day.
Right. And then, so my wife and I go to Chicago, and we go to this restaurant, and I'm a little bit of a picky eater for sure. And there wasn't much on the menu that I would like, but they had a burger. Oh, you've got the picture up.
It's in our text exchange.
Yeah. So but you have, tell Tommy G, can you see the plate?
I'll have to go find
the name of the restaurant. The irony of the whole thing was called The Gauge.
Really?
Yeah.
We had just had the conversation.
And then we go to Chicago like the next week. I have a burger. I texted Maddie and Gage the picture at The Gauge.
March 24th, 2024. Tomorrow's the 2-year anniversary.
2-year anniversary.
How about that?
In honor of
it was a good burger. It was really good. I loved it.
I think the bun has a lot to do with
I was just going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
You have to have a quality bun, whether it's a chicken burger or if I do have a hamburger. I mean, the bun.
It matters.
Like a nice brioche bun is good, but it's got to be a high quality. Like if you have a Wonder Bread bun, like no, it's got to be something good, high end, fresh bun.
You know what always sounds appetizing bun wise, but ends up being it always misses the mark, at least with me, is a pretzel bun.
Yes, it's too dry.
Yeah.
When you're eating
gotta
it, the bread's it takes way too long to eat. You eat the rest of the bite before you're done with the burger or the bun.
Yeah.
100% right.
Yeah.
100% right.
Yeah.
Do not like pretzel. When I see that on menus now, that's one. I'm like, it's not a selling point for me.
Thank you. Because like you see it and it presents well, and then you on the menu you're like, oh, pretzel bun, and then you have it and you're like, that was too much work. Thank you, Matthew. You articulated that very well.
If
I've been thinking about it. I've thought of that many times before. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Pretzel bun.
When I do have a chicken burger or a burger, if it's not a high end bun, I'll actually just take the burger or the chicken off and just eat the meat.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't want to waste calories with a yucky bun if it's not going to enhance the burger or whatever.
Yeah. Very important.
You just, when you text me that, by the way, I'm at a restaurant in Chicago that supposedly is the best burger, and all you said was burger, bun, cheese. That's all you had.
I don't like all that other stuff.
And it was called The Gauge, which was just
the
absolutely
irony
incredible.
of that was just ridiculous. It was good, and the wine there was really good too. It was a fancy little restaurant, but they said it had the best burger in Chicago. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna trust Maddie and Gager here and try it. Yeah.
Burgers could they just hit the spot.
Yeah.
I was at my brother's place on the weekend for my niece's birthday. He did burgers and hot dogs. Perfect. Mm-hmm. That's all I need. Right. I'm a happy guy.
Well, we trusted the concierge at our hotel in downtown Chicago, and so he sent us to this place to have the best burger in Chicago. And we said, like, best deep dish pizza. You got to send us the best deep dish pizza place. And oh my God, he told us you have to order the pizza and say, I want the crust done just right. And I'm so confused. Like, you want him to make it wrong? Like, what does this even mean? And so I said to the server, okay, I want this kind of pizza and I want the crust done just right. And he knew exactly what I was talking about. He says, oh, yeah, we'll get that done for you, sir. And oh my God, my wife and I will both tell you it's the best pizza we've ever had. Oh my God.
One or two of those slices and that's the meal.
Yes, you don't need more.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you had an appetizer before those pizzas,
You're
no,
full.
thank you. You're full, yeah.
What
There's a lot of crust on the Chicago deep dish pizzas.
Max Bezos, who says a pretzel bun works better with a hot dog than a burger. We'll have to try that.
I've never tried that. So
Rip City says also there's a peanut butter burger option. I'll get that. And yes, peanut butter on your burger is amazing. Or a peanut butter jelly on it. Hudson's used to have that. I don't know if they still do.
I don't think they do anymore.
It actually is an awesome addition to a burger.
I don't like
Rip
peanut
City's
butter
100%
or
right
jelly.
on that one.
So.
You know what?
Don't like peanut butter or jelly.
Yeah, I'm not a big jelly guy. Collingwood Rob, I'm with you on the jelly.
Yeah.
Collingwood Rob texting and says the hardware grill chef was the one who introduced the grilled Caesar salad with capers and horseradish. I make it myself. Yummy.
Oh, it lost me at horseradish. Skip the horseradish, and I'm all in on that.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest horseradish person, but when I was at Century and I would get their prime rib on the Saturday, they'd have horseradish underneath it. It was good. Like, so I'm a hit and miss with horseradish.
Yeah, if my prime rib touched horseradish, I would like, well, not touching this.
It's a sharp flavor, isn't it?
Yeah. Interesting conversation, though, hey?
Yeah, it's making me extremely hungry.
I'm on a 24-hour fast. I'm not, every Monday from supper Sunday to supper Monday, I don't eat. So I'm glad it's not making me hungry right now.
Why is that? Like, is it just
I just reset
your diet and stuff?
Yeah, reset my,
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an interesting way because you sleep for part of it. Then you're busy with work and stuff. That it probably goes by.
Yeah, it's not like we're going to crack open a bag of chips or something on the Hangout.
No.
You probably have, though, at some point. Oh, I remember.
I never did. What do we have?
One year, there was a pizza. It was the biggest pizza in Edmonton. I was on the Hangout that day, and they brought in this pizza. Or maybe it was on Dusty's show, and then we got some of the leftovers.
Are those guys still going?
I think, they are.
They are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the biggest pizza.
It was huge.
They took the back seat out of the vehicle, delivery vehicle, so it could fit the box in or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we had too much. Yep. We had to get.
Oh, there was because we couldn't put it in the fridge after.
No.
It sat out. And so I was going to chuck it. Like, Coob was about to take some. I'm like, Coob, it sat out for all night.
Yeah.
You're not taking any of this home. Like, no.
Growing penicillin.
Yeah. This is I'm chucking this. Like, this is, you're not taking this home and eating it. Sorry. Like, if you, hey, how dare you? Like, this isn't good for you, Coob. No. So I had to do that one. Need to get to over under Play Alberta. Download the app, visit them, playalberta.ca. Check EST specials for all the latest. We're always loading that up. Does Dusty have an early bird special up so far? I didn't look what it was.
Checked mine.
We'll have some sort of Jays play of the day. I don't know who'll put that one in. We'll have the Screw It, Let's Do It parlay, which I think Coop ruined. I think we hit all three legs. Mike, the Michigan fan, threw one in. Michigan to win on Saturday. I think they did against in NCAA hockey. I had Aston winning. I think Hernan had Dustin Wolf over 20 saves or whatever it was. I think those all hit. We had a Leo Carlson goal that was needed and didn't go. Lakers to win against the Pistons tonight. Luka 30-plus points. LeBron 5-plus assists. That's plus 142. Dusty's play of the day also has Sens to win. Stutzel and Batherson with a point each. That's plus 180. And we still have the Celebrini and Werenski. Celebrini to win Hart, Werenski to win Norris. That's plus 660. But if Oilers, Utah, Vegas, Tuesday, Thursday this week, 3.5 points the Oilers gained this week in this road trip. Over or under?
Under.
If I changed it to,
I'm going to go under.
If I did 1.5, over or under?
Over. I think they beat Vegas.
Okay. That seems like it just feels like they own, like,
They've
I don't want to go
Vegas.
as far as owning, but they have their number.
Yeah.
Which is
Vegas,
3.5.
Utah.
That's the two. So 4 points between those two games. If I said 3.5. Or did I say 2.5?
So
You said 3.5.
3.5. So that means they're going to beat them both? No, they're not going to beat them both.
Okay, 2.5.
I'd still go
One
under.
a win and
I'd still
overtime
go
loss.
under. No. 1 win, 1 loss. 2 points.
Yeah. Under.
And Vegas, I mean, Edmonton maybe seems to have their number, but Vegas, I don't know. The last time Edmonton played Vegas obviously had a rough night. Everyone said, "Oh, Vegas looked awful. Vegas looked awful." But teams have bad days.
Do you know what else Vegas doesn't have right now, though? They don't have goaltending.
No.
What happened to Carter Hart?
He's hurt.
He's hurt?
Yeah.
Is that what happened to him? Okay.
And his game, he couldn't find his game. I mean, tough
Yeah, tough scenario.
with how much he missed and everything he's gone through. But
Yeah.
Hale has not found his game in a long time.
he was hurt for a good chunk of the early part of the season
Who
too.
did they won yesterday, though, Vegas did, didn't they?
They beat
Who did they beat?
The
Dallas.
Stars. Yeah.
They beat Dallas.
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
Okay.
hey, I was out for dinner, and I told Jen, I'm like, watch Calgary beat Tampa, and sure enough, they did.
Not only did Vegas beat Dallas, they outshot them 33-15.
Damn.
I don't know. Like, so maybe Dallas just didn't show up for a night. Which,
Maybe.
like,
Hey, they were due for one of those.
But my goodness, maybe Vegas might be scary if they play like that against Edmonton. They'll beat them.
There's something that just feels off with Vegas this season.
Yeah.
Let me take a look at if I can find.
But
some
maybe they're
goaltending
like
stats.
Edmonton, Murray, where they'll show up and have a good night, and then totally
Yeah,
Pooch it the next
that's my
night.
point. Like, just because Vegas looked so awful the last time Oilers played them, and
Yeah.
the perception of, well, Vegas sucks, they're not very good. Look what just happened in this game.
Yeah.
That's one game. You're not watching Vegas all the way along. I mean, outshooting Dallas 33-15, that's impressive.
Okay, Akira Schmid, he's their starting goalie. Mm-hmm. He's got a 2.59 goals allowed average. He's got an 8.93 save percentage. So it's not exactly out of this world.
sounds like Oilers goaltending.
Aiden Hill has a. I clicked the wrong button there. What did I click? Damn it, I lost it. Oh, here we go. Aiden Hill has an 8.69 save percentage with a 3.03 goals allowed average. And Hearts hurt, but he was posting a 3.28 goals allowed average with an 8.71 save percentage.
Yeah.
And then Lindbaum has a 3.0 goals allowed average and 8.73 save percentage. Like, it's not.
Doesn't sound too different from Edmonton Oilers goal.
Schmid
stats.
is 16, 10, and 6. Like 16 wins, 10 losses, 6 overtime losses in his 34 games played this season.
Yeah.
Like, they're having goaltending struggles too right now.
Everyone's touting up about Ingram. Well, 2 games in a row, his save percentage was around 850 the last 2 games. I mean, people aren't blaming him because of some other reasons, but you can't have 850 goaltending and win very many hockey games.
And I guess, I mean, Reed's pointed it out. He's the best of a bad bunch. You know, the goaltending hasn't been great as we talked about.
He's not I don't think Connor Ingram's a number 1 goaltender in the NHL. Like, he'd be a fine backup the way he's playing right now, but they don't have a number 1 goaltender.
Nope.
Well, the hope is that he could take them to a Stanley Cup.
Well,
Because right now,
That's hopeful.
I guess that's what, we got 3 games for the rest of this week. You get Utah, Vegas on the road, Ducks at home. What does Jari get?
just got to get one. I mean,
Well, I would because it's 5 or 6 for Ingram now. 5 straight?
5 in a row.
straight.
Yeah.
You'd think there's got to be at some point, like, you can't just run this guy completely down. Like, he's not used to being the guy fully, and you can't just run him all the way into the playoffs, I don't think.
Would you let Jari play Saturday afternoon against Anaheim, hoping that he remembers that game in Anaheim a few weeks ago where he got pulled at the 5-5 goal with like the whole period left, and uses that as motivation? If you want to play like the
Trying to figure out
mental game or whatever.
it's a crapshoot to me. I mean,
Yeah.
it's you throw something at the wall and hope it sticks night after night. And
Yeah.
right now they're riding Ingram, and the stats say he hasn't been great the last couple of games. So I don't know. I'm almost go with Jerry the next game,
Maybe even tomorrow against Utah.
maybe. I mean, although that's Ingram's old organization.
Oh, that's
so you
right.
probably
Yeah.
got to give Ingram that game.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
So maybe give Jari Vegas even.
Vegas. Yeah.
But how important? That game's a 4-point game.
Absolutely. But so is Saturday.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
There's a lot of 4-point games
Oh,
ahead.
yeah. No, sorry. Good point.
Or do you run Ingram for 3 and you give Jari Kraken?
Also a 4-point game.
It is, but they're also much lower.
Yeah.
They, in theory, should be an easier opponent, but that means you're also running Ingram 8 straight. Which, hey, I guess the other counter to my argument from that before is if he's going to be the guy in the playoffs, you're going to have to be run that much a little bit. So going 8's not too bad if then you give Jari the Kraken. It will be interesting times. Murray, we're not going to see for a few weeks. Enjoy Mexico.
Thank you.
Nice.
Look forward to knowing when the ranch is officially going to open up. And we're a little over a month away from the VIP golf show, so can't wait for that one. We've got Oil Stream coming up at noon. Before that, it is the Lock Shop, Dusty and Huss. We've got EST Afternoons. We've got the Reed Wilkins Show without Jay Milne on our audio streams later tonight as well. MCTV as well as the Pipeline Show coming up. This is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada Storage experts, more than 2 decades helping Canadians through life transitions. Canadian storage provider. Be sure to buy Canadian. On behalf of Murray, Tommy, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning into the Hangout here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, presented by Play Alberta. Lock Shop with Dusty and Us coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Look at this. Let's go.
There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here, joining us today.